lot is said about how we, as pastors, deliver the words that were given by God. So, for instance, one time I had a discussion with a guy. We were talking about styles of preaching that we liked, and I said, well, I really like almost more teaching. And he was kind of joking with me, and he said, yeah, because the Bible calls it the foolishness of teaching that changes lives. But it's interesting that so many people seem to have real issues with kind of how we say what we say. Some think you have to yell a lot, and you've got to be loud and boisterous and screaming, and they say that if you teach, then that makes your church dead and no good. Others think that you have to go through expository style preaching and just only take what the Bible says. I actually talked to a guy one time who said he tries really hard to never say a joke, never be funny, never raise his voice, because he doesn't want anything that he does to be viewed as good, only what the Word says. I think probably all those are right, and probably all those are wrong. See, the truth is, God's not nearly as focused on how we say what we say as who we say it about. It's really not about how we give the message, it's just who the message is about. See, the Bible says in Matthew chapter 5, verse 1 and 2, that Jesus taught sitting down. We also know that Jesus gave stories. We know that Jesus taught standing up. We know that Jesus threw people out of the temple and calmly talked to people. We know that it wasn't about how he was saying it, it was what he was saying, and most importantly, who he was saying it about. And then in Colossians chapter 4, Paul says an interesting thing to one of his disciples. He says, perfect your ministry. In other words, don't worry about how I give my ministry or how I do my messages. Focus on yours. So here's how I think we apply this to ourselves. God has a specific message for you. He created you to give that message in a way that's unique to you so that it will affect somebody else. So don't spend all your time consumed with how you're giving it. Focus instead on what you're talking about. If you talk about Christ, the Bible says, if I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto me. So let's change the way we do church. Instead of trying to focus on how we say things, let's focus on what we're saying. The Bible does say the foolishness of preaching. So if that's the case, then I'm encouraging all of you to be a fool. I'm encouraging all of you to be a fool like me. Count me a fool. And what I mean is, give your message that God gave you to someone today. It doesn't have to be in front of thousands, doesn't have to be in front of dozens. It could be to one person, or it could be to thousands. It's a message that God gave you, so give it to someone today. Be a fool for Christ today.